Does anyone have a question they would like to ask?
Stuart, it's Niobe. I was wondering if you could talk about regrets. We all have them.
Yes.
Just talk about it. Just how do you take
Wait, one second. Everybody try and sit, 1 second, Naomi. Everybody try and sit still. Because if you're moving, I know you're all in your own places there, nobody around, but if you move, like it just disrupts the whole energy. So please try and sit still. Regret, what can I say except it just does nothing but brings you down. What is to regret? We all make mistakes in life. We hurt people, we do stupid things in life. But if, I talk about this all the time, I'm getting tired of talking about it. If we learn from these mistakes, if we grow because of these things we do in life, if they become, energy which really helps us to build ourselves as human beings, there's nothing to regret. Regret is when you're insecure inside, when you're holding on to something and you think it's going to do so, you make a mistake. So what? We all make mistakes. And if people can't forgive you, then you have to be able to forgive yourself. And don't worry about other people because they make as many mistakes as you make. And regrets are things that just bring us down, There's nothing to regret in life. When you really arrive at a place where you have that kind of inner strength, there's no longer positive and negative energy. There's just opportunities to learn and to grow and to build yourself as a human being and to develop the capacity inside, as I always say, to do three things: to be able to receive spiritual energy, to be able to work out your karma by living in the world and not regretting, but being able to say to somebody, I'm sorry. Instead of regretting it, you made a mistake, you hurt somebody, I'm sorry. It takes a lot of strength to do something like that. It takes less strength to be full of anxiety and regrets and fear and insecurity. You understand? All of these things come down to a simple reality: what we do and how we want to live. And if we really want to develop the strength inside to use everything in life as an opportunity to grow. And you don't waste your energy, your time, your, being depressed because you did something that you didn't like, you shouldn't have done. You missed a job, you missed something in a relationship. You should have brought a flower and you forgot, All right, you learn for the next time. And instead of beating yourself up and instead of getting depressed and unhappy, you learn something, you grow because of it. You take it into the third chakra and you build chi. You get stronger inside yourself. And that makes room in you for spirit to then come inside you, for God to come and to begin to guide your life, because you have the strength inside to allow that energy to come and flow through you. It's no longer just longing for God, you have the inner strength to be able to work out your karma, to receive spiritual energy. I talk about this so much, I'm going to have to get to a place where the whole cycle changes and I have something new to talk about.
It just has different names.
What?
It just has different names.
It's all different reasons. But
the answer is always the same.
It's all the same stuff. It's all based on, do we have enough inner strength to be able to make a mistake, not regret it, but to learn from it, to grow because of it. And honestly, unless most people can't forget, and most people can't even remember what they had for breakfast. Color of the socks they wore yesterday. They don't. Where people remember is not in their heads, but they remember deep inside in the unconscious. And that determines a lot of the way people function. They don't even know why they're functioning that way. But it comes out of the unconscious. It's buried inside them. And one way of overcoming regret is to just forgive yourself and to forgive other people if they're upset at you, because most people don't even know why they're upset at you. They're just upset. They're upset at the world. They're angry. And yeah, there's a lot of crap that goes on in this world, but all of it should be one's teacher. And all of it should remind you that the crap is not going to go away. It's been here since Adam and Eve left the Garden of Eden. It's been here forever. We have to grow strong enough to be able to stay in balance in ourselves, and be able to deal with it without allowing it to get us depressed and unhappy and miserable. It doesn't go away. I cannot remember, and I say this all the time, one day in my life where there hasn't been a war someplace on the planet Earth. One day in my life where I haven't heard about starving people, or I haven't heard about injustice in the world. I mean, you hear about it even more today because media is insane. That's all they dwell on. Very hard to find anything positive in the media. But I can't remember one day, and I'm probably older than most of you, when I haven't, heard about the injustices in life. And when I was younger, I used to picket and march. And I mean, back in the 60s, oh man, there was so much to scream about: the Vietnam War, racial prejudice, on and on and on, economic injustice. You get the same crap today, except it's even worse. Well, at least here in the United States. So what I'm saying is everything is there to teach us to grow, to teach us how to get stronger inside. And as you grow to the point where your heart opens and you really can live with forgiveness, compassion, you begin to see the world differently. It doesn't affect you the same way, and you begin to attract people that want the same thing, that want to grow, that want to live positive lives, that want to be happy people. They want to overcome fear, injustice, oppression, all this stuff. And the greatest thing that's oppressed is always ourselves. We oppress ourselves. That's why other people are impressed in the world, or oppressed in the world. We fix ourselves. If people would fix themselves, the world would change. But that's the last place that people go. They don't fix themselves. Everybody's trying to fix what's out there. It never gets fixed. It's endless because it's all Maya. It's all illusion. It's all, it's all a dream that we live in. And yet what's real is our internal life, our connection with spirit, which gives us the capacity to change and to grow and to be strong enough to work out karma, whatever our karma has to be. And we all have unique karmas. No two people have the same karma on the planet Earth. But yet the goal is the same, You work out your karma when you become a happy person. There's love inside, compassion, joy. That's how you work out your karma. And then you can forgive anybody, whatever they do to you. It doesn't matter, It really doesn't matter. It's all bullshit. It just comes and it goes, and it's, Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? I've done a lot of stupid things in my life, I must admit, I must admit. But at this point in my life, I don't regret anything because I see what I'm doing today. And everything that took place in my life pre today has led up to me sitting here and doing these classes with all of you. Every single thing, the good, the bad, the indifferent, and the ugly, led up to me sitting here doing these classes with you. And the reason for it is that I really learned how to transform all that stuff into a spiritual life. And I know in my life when I was really going through hell, and I tell you, there were times I didn't think I was going to get through it. And there were people trying to do all kinds of stuff and this and that. I won't go into it. And I went so deep inside myself, and my teachers all came and they said, the only way through it is to forgive all these people. Said to me, the only way, and I was angry. They said, the only way through, I kept hearing this over and over and over again. And I finally got strong enough in myself to do it. And I was able to get past all of that madness, all of that craziness. First, forgive yourself, they said, then forgive all of these people. Does anyone have a question? Anyone else have a question?
Stuart?
Yes?
I want just to know how to, I want to send you to pay something, but I don't have your account and how it's work to pay you something.
You want to tell me something?
No, I want to pay you, but I don't have your account. You know, we
do it through PayPal. There's a bank called PayPal, and you just need my my email address. And they send. I get it all the time from people from all over the world. They send, you know, some money, not a lot, little money each person, but it comes through PayPal.
I will try. I never paid to just.
Yeah, you have to join. I don't know. Anyway, it's easy to do. All you need is my email address, and they will forward the money. They're like a brokerage that does that, you know. And there's ways of doing it. You can do it, I think, as a friend or as a gift, and they don't charge any commission. But if you do it, if you do it just regular, they charge very little, 1%, or it's a very small commission they charge. So, you know, it's the best way. Thank you for thinking about that because, you know, I have bills to pay too. And
I'm thinking very often.
Bills, I have things to pay, and you know, when I get donations like that, it just opens my heart because people care. You know, they care that these classes go on, and and people don't have money. There's no problem. You just come. I don't care. But if people make donations, it touches me deeply because they care that I do these classes, and that's a way. I mean, with my teacher, it was different. It was back in the 60s. And you had to, you know, the work, with the stuff we used to do was unbelievable, you know? But you had to give something. You have to give something to get back. And I know when I ran ashrams, people would work and do and help and fix and cook dinners. And I used to have 3-4 times a week, 20 people a night for dinner. And my students would be there and they would all come and people would cook and this. And, you know, it was a way of giving, you know, of saying, yes, thank you. And it was always wonderful. Today, it's harder to do that, you know, with diseases, COVID and all that. So, you know, if people send a little donation, it's deeply appreciated, you know. It's a way of saying thank you and giving something.
Absolutely.
Does anyone else, the last thing I like to talk about is money. It's just not fun. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? And again, if you can't afford that, don't worry about it. I mean, I don't have the Kundalini CIA chasing people, to make donations. You come, you grow, your system will get strong enough, and one day you'll say thank you, and you'll give something, maybe money, time, energy, something that will be able to say thank you, and I'm grateful for having participated in the classes. The most important thing is that everybody grows, because that opens up so much creativity for a human being, and ways of saying thank you, and ways of giving, and learning how to really unconditionally give and to receive in life. And that's the most important thing, building the chakra system, getting stronger, and the rest of it just comes. I mean, when I first met my teacher, if you would have asked me for money, I mean, I didn't have the money barely to pay a $38 a month rent when I first started studying with my teacher. 20 years later, I'm running an ashram and it's costing me $10,000 to $15,000 a month to run an ashram so people could come and do meditation. And this is really true. And, I built a system inside that said, I need these classes. I'm grateful to do it. I will support it. And I used to lay out $10,000, $15,000 a month for people to come and do the meditation. And it was amazing, it was an amazing thing. And I grew because of it. I never had any problems with it, it made me really grow. So just don't worry about it, it always brings a tear to my eyes because I remember what I was like when I first met Rudy. I just remember it. It really demands every day, just the thought of what I was like and what he gave to me for my life makes me work on myself every single day of my life. Just out of sheer gratitude. Makes me have these classes, out of sheer gratitude. Because I remember, I mean, honestly, I was 3 weeks out of a prison in Spain. I really mean this. I mean, most of you haven't read my books, but it's in all my books, the way I live my life. And I met him. It was almost like an accident, but it wasn't. It was really predestined by God to meet him. And it completely transformed my life. Please try and sit still. If you're moving, it really disrupts the energy here. Does anyone have a question? Anyone else have a question they would like to
ask? Stuart, I'm
yes.
wondering, what do you mean by depth exactly?
About what?
About depth.
Oh, no, look, that's a really long answer, and okay. I don't want to go into that now. Maybe in another class. Okay? It's a very important aspect of spiritual growth, learning how to use sexual energy properly. And it's one of those powerful energies inside us. And look, I've been, I'll probably run over the time I have to even teach this class to get into that right now, but it's a very important thing. And I will in another class, okay? Please forgive me.
Yeah, no problem. But did you hear me? I said depth.
Sex?
Not sex. Depth.
Who?
Going deep. I get a bit. I get a bit confused when you say going deep. I'm not quite sure if I sort of understand the.
Their energy of spirit is infinite in the universe. And everybody that is alive is a manifestation of God's energy. Most people live on a very superficial level. They accept 5% of creativity as the total of what the universe has to give them. Now, in order to allow their consciousness to get deeper, they have to build a system inside that allows this energy of spirit to come in and take them into extraordinary areas of creativity in themselves, ultimately to a state of spiritual enlightenment. But most people live on a very superficial level. It's ego, it's mind, it's opinions, it's what they think is right or wrong, it's them against others. It's very superficial. But in order to go deeper, they have to know how to open deeper. They have to know how to build a system inside that allows them to tap more than 5% of creative energy in the universe. You know, I mean, and that's what going deeper is all about. But most people live on a very superficial plane. And it's why there's so much tension in the world and so much anger and upset, because everybody's trying to fix what's on the surface. And nobody goes deep inside themselves to really fix the problem. And inside us, we have a chakra system that is directly linked to higher energy in the universe. Higher energy in the universe is infinite. There's no limit to it. And that will open up areas of creativity in a human being that you never dreamed you could ever get to. They're so profound. But that takes work, and it takes time and patience and doing the inner work. I mean, even before I met Rudy, I understood this. I just didn't know how to get there, you know? And then I learned how to get there. I wrote 12 books because I got there, you know? And yeah, up until the point of, I always wanted to be a writer, and I couldn't write 3 lines together, you know? But once these chakras are and the energy, I produced what, well, 11 books and a play, you know, in my life that have just come through me. You know, it's amazing, the creativity. And while writing those books, I was running my business. I was traveling all over the world, teaching, you know, doing business all over the world. You can do 50 things in your life, but you have to have the capacity to draw upon that energy that is infinite in the universe. That's going deeper, except for settling and being satisfied with superficial answers. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? And it, just to finish, it just brings out a love of life. You know, it's an amazing thing we have that's called life, where every minute, every day is a miracle and teaches us something that we have to know in order to grow inside ourselves. Okay, if there are no more questions, then there'll be a class on Sunday, and God bless you all. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your lives and to do this with you all. And did you have a question? No.
Thank you.
You're welcome, dear. It's good to see you smiling, dear. Really good. God bless you all. Thank you. And I hopefully will see everybody on Sunday.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Bye.
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 Bye. Thank you.